Hello everybody, welcome back to Elitopia Gaming. I am El Bristow and welcome back to KSP Live. Last week we did quite well. We had a mission to Eve and a mission to Duna. Well, technically we had two missions to Duna, but one of them ended up at Eve. It was close, you know, just slightly in the opposite direction. But in the process, we accepted the two contracts, one for Eve and one for Duna. Now, for Duna, we achieved an orbit and we recovered some data from space, but we haven't landed on Duna or taken the scientific data from the surface. And with Eve, although we did get to Eve and we did end up on the surface of Eve, we didn't actually ever make a proper orbit of Eve. And we didn't actually land because we splashed down a bit too hard. So, this week we're going to try again, on both counts. Now, the crafts that we were using, the Q and the Q2, our 30-part probes, were quite successful. I was gone for a while. Did you ever save Jeb? Did I ever save Jeb? No, I'm pretty sure we didn't save Jeb. Jeb is he's not around, unfortunately. Out of the two methods that we used for launching, I prefer this one. I think this one was more successful, even though these were slightly underpowered. I do think that this was the more successful approach to launching. I am tempted to add a little bit more fuel to this. That might be a bit too much, a little bit more fuel. Excuse me. And what we'll do is we'll fire all three of these during this stage rather than just the side two, because that will give us the extra bit of power that we needed. I came here to science, not to feel. Yes. So they are just about sufficient to actually get us off the ground, providing, we've got all the fuel correct and everything. We can actually bring that fuel down very slightly, I believe, because we ended up detaching those and they flew off because they hadn't run out of fuel yet. And I took the oxidizer out of those. Yeah, so this all looks okay. We actually did remove one of these guys because we don't need two of those. Oh dear. This cough's not great. And we've got a thermometer on there, so we can do some sciencing. But that should be all that we need. We actually almost managed both Eve and Duna with this craft. So in theory, this should do it. So this is going to be the Q3. Oh dear. So let's save that and we'll take this out to the launch pad and we'll see where we can get this thing. Obviously we need to line up with where we want to go. Where do we want to go first? Do we want to try Duna first or do we want to try Eve first? If it's Duna, we'll be going for a landing. If it's Eve, we'll be going for an orbit and a landing. But which we go for will depend on how much we time accelerate before we get there. Now, where are we compared to Eve? Yeah, we're going to need to time accelerate either way. We're in the complete wrong place for both. So which we think, guys? Over to you guys in the Twitch chat. Should we be heading for Eve or should we be heading for Duna? Inwards or outwards? What have we got? The Q2 must be out of fuel. Neither of these is in the right place. We'd probably get to Eve quicker because Eve will catch us up because we can launch when Eve is kind of here somewhere. I say venture to Eve, but I'm not picky. Yeah, Duna needs to be ahead of us. Oh, does it? I've forgotten now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Duna needs to be ahead of us, like up here somewhere. If we want to go for that one. Twitch chat staying remarkably quiet on the matter. We've had one suggestion for Eve, but other than that, no takers so far. I say Eve. It looks lonely. It does look lonely, doesn't it? Okie dokie. Right. So let's have a look at that then. Let's speed up time until Eve catches us up. Where are we? 10,000 times, 100,000 times. We can't speed up anymore. Okay. Yep. Everyone's saying let's go to Eve. So we're going to Eve, guys. How's my camera? Actually, I didn't check my camera. I've rushed to get here today because. Oh, that's a new follower. Who's that? That's Bobby. I thought you followed last week. That's a re-follow. Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, I kind of rushed to get here this week because I was out enjoying some bowling with my son. What's that going off out there? That's another Q2. That one's been sent off out to into the far reaches of the solar system. Happy Pi Day indeed. Happy Pi Day, everybody. It is the 3/14/15. Only if you're American, though. Unfortunately, in Europe, we say it the other way around. So technically, it's the 14/3/15, which kind of ruins it. But there you go. I'll go with you guys. Wasn't that a Duna? Yeah, well, oh yes, it was, wasn't it? It was at Duna. Why is it heading off up there now? That's kind of weird. It was at Duna just now. Oh well, bye then. There it goes. How strange. Yeah, 31st of April 15. Yeah, we won't have that either. Oh well, never mind. Right, so Eve's kind of roughly in the right position there. I'm pretty sure it doesn't need to be particularly accurate for Eve. We can take some advantage of the massive aero braking of Eve. So here we go. We have our throttle at full and our SAS on. It's a night launch. Should we go for a day launch? Let's zoom in. There we go. Let's go for a daytime launch. Report this to the QH. The Q headquarters? I think they call that the Q continuum. Right, anyway, SAS is on. Throttle is at full. That's another new follower. That's GeekBite10. Thank you for the follow and welcome. And we are ready for launch. Here we go. Hopefully these things are strong enough to still push us now that we've added that extra bit of fuel on the top. I think they are. We took off at 120 kilonewtons before. Which is technically 240 because there's two of them. Come on. There we go. 128. So a little bit slower because we are heavier, but we are taking off. We are heading in the right direction. And that direction is up. Technically, this is a VTOL. Because it's jet propelled, but I'm not really sure it qualifies as a VTOL. It seemed to slide sideways a bit as it took off. It did a little bit, didn't it? It kind of drifted and took off. But there you go. Ours is not to reason why. We are going up, and we are speeding up, which are two ups that I like. Let's look at the upside of this. Fuel is doing okay. Coming up on 3,000 meters. We're going quite slowly. Hopefully, as the atmosphere thins, as the soup thins, then we will gain speed a bit quicker. We have had issues with this design before, in that it doesn't have a lot of speed by the time these engines are running out of fuel. And by the time we reach the height where we would normally start our gravity turn. And we did have the problem with asymmetric burnout, which actually could be an issue this time too. Build any planes? I haven't. I really am sorry for this cough. It's got particularly bad tonight for some reason. I haven't built many planes in the last few weeks. We kind of had a flurry of a few weeks where we did build a few, but we've gone back to rockets for now. How's this fuel doing? Not doing too bad. Coming up at 10,000. These things are going to start to burn out on us, aren't they? I'm thinking let's bring those all in, and the moment they start to wobble on us, we'll detach them and fire our other rockets. Or we could start our turn, since they don't seem to actually be flaming out for some reason. That's a bit strange. Let's take this turn very gently. Very gently. Ah, there goes one of them. They are starting to lose their power. We're also about to run out of fuel.